What's going on YouTube? So today we have another video, every NBA team's trade deadline shopping list. So we're just going to go through the couple of teams and the players on it and just talk about it a little bit. If this is your first time here and you like NBA related content, please do leave a like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. Okay, so it's basically just a list of every team's NBA shopping list, I guess. So I guess they're going to have a couple of players on it. Let's just get right into it. Atlanta Hawks. Trade targets: Andre Drummond, Steven Adams, Dwayne Dedmon, Malik Beasley, and Mo Bamba. So I know they're out of the Andre Drummond talks as of now. Steven Adams does make a lot of sense for them, although he has a pretty big contract as well. Dwayne Dedmon coming back to Atlanta might make sense, but he is kind of older. The one that I like the most here is with Mo Bamba. I think the Atlanta Hawks should just rebuild through the draft. They don't really need to go out there and sign a big name free agency. People will come to play with Trae Young and younger players eventually when it happens. Now, Mo Bamba, if he gets to get unleashed in Atlanta, that would be pretty nice. Him next to John Collins would be pretty good. And a pick and roll with Trae Young would be pretty filthy. Moving on, we have the Boston Celtics. Another one for Drummond, Derek Favors, Tristan Thompson, Jay Crowder, and Glenn Robinson. Now, I also do think the Celtics need a little bit of center help. Now, Andre Drummond might be out of their price list because I think they'd have to give up either Jaylen Brown or Gordon Hayward. And I don't really think they should do that. Now, Derek Favors, on the other hand, he might be more reasonable target. And they could just bring Enes Kanter off the bench. They played in Utah together, I think. So that might be a little reunion for them. Tristan Thompson would also be another nice one. Get a good rebounder out there. I'm also just not sure how they would make the contracts match up for that. But Celtics definitely need a very good rim protecting, defending big man. Now, Brooklyn Nets. Aaron Gordon, JJ Redick, Robert Covington, Wayne Ellington, and Reggie Bullock. Now, unless they play Karis LeVert at small forward, but then they have Joe Harris as well, JJ Redick doesn't really make much sense. Rocco does make a lot of sense, and Aaron Gordon, because the Nets are kind of weak in the power forward spot. They're currently playing Taurean Prince, and he's been doing okay as a power forward, but they definitely need a better power forward out there. And Aaron Gordon, I think he needs a change in scenery. Same with Robert Covington. They've both been having pretty disappointing seasons. I think just a change in scenery can really help them out. And Robert Covington's a great 3-and-D guy, and Aaron Gordon's still a pretty young, athletic power forward, so he might be able to switch things up in Brooklyn. Now we have Charlotte Hornets, Miles Turner, Andrew Wiggins, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Robert Covington, and Mo Bamba. So for the Hornets, I think they definitely need a perimeter, small forward, maybe even shooting guard, and definitely a big man. I can't remember the last time they had a good big man. Maybe like Dwight, the one year he played there, or Al Jefferson. So that was a pretty long time ago. So the Mo Bamba thing, that definitely makes sense. Miles Turner, I would like to see that too. And Bogdanovic, unless he plays small, well, I guess all three of these guys could play small forward, so maybe they'll fit in. But they definitely don't need a power forward. They have PJ Washington, and their guard situation, Rozier and Devontae Graham, it's really working for them. Maybe you bring one off the bench if you want to play one of these guys at shooting guard. But I definitely think they should go after a big man. Miles Turner and Mo Bamba, they'd be pretty fun additions to that. Now let's see. Chicago Bulls, Robert Covington, Marcus Morris, Davis Bertans, Malik Beasley, and Elfrid Payton. I definitely don't agree with the Elfrid Payton one there. They have like 4 point guards: Chris Dunn, Satoransky, Kobe White. Then they also have Zach LaVine. I mean, he probably never plays point guard for them, but they have him there who could also play make. Davis Bertans, Marcus Morris, and Rocco. They all kind of fit that stretch 4 kind of mentality that probably they already have Lauri Markkanen though, so it's kind of weird. These Robert Covington and Marcus Morris, they're kind of like Otto Porter too, I guess. So it's kind of weird little trade targets for the Bulls. But I like Davis Bertans as like a coming off the bench kind of stretch big guy. Same with Marcus Morris. The guards, I don't really agree with. I think the Bulls guard lineups is pretty secure, unless they do trade Zach LaVine to the Lakers, which has been rumored. So next up, the Cavaliers. Trade targets: draft picks, Tyler Johnson, Malik Beasley, Frank, and Chris Dunn. I don't agree with any of these point guards. Like, I don't know why they have any of these guards or wing players here. Draft picks, 100%. That should be their only goal. Just trade for draft picks, as many draft picks as possible. Just like OKC did when they traded Paul George. They got 5 first-round picks. The Cavaliers should try to do as much as they can. Let go of Love, let go of Tristan Thompson, get as many picks as possible. Dallas Mavericks, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Aaron Gordon, Evan Fournier, Rocco, and Jay Crowder. Now, I really like Rocco and Jay Crowder for the Mavericks. I think they would fit really, really nicely at the small forward position. And maybe even power forward if Porzingis does move over to the 5 now. Because Dwight Powell did suffer that season-ending Achilles injury. Very sad. Aaron Gordon might also work out for them if Porzingis goes to the 5. But if they bring in a center like Joakim Noah, like they've been talking to, then a small forward like Jay Crowder, Rocco, or even Bogdanovic, I think would be perfect fits at that small forward position. Bringing in shooters and defenders to play around Luka and Porzingis, it would go pretty well. Next up, we have the Denver Nuggets. Jrue Holiday, Rocco, Iguodala, JJ Redick. Yeah, this all makes sense. Jrue Holiday, pairing him next to Jamal Murray to guard the more offense-oriented guards out there that Jamal Murray can't stop. Rocco, again, same thing. Power forward when Paul Millsap is a little tired. Or he can even play small forward next to Will Barton. The Nuggets play very like freestyle kind of basketball, not positionless basketball, I guess. And again, JJ Redick's three-point shooting, always going to be nice, and Iguodala's leadership. These pretty much make a lot of sense for the Nuggets playoff push, I would say. Next up, Detroit Pistons, trade targets, draft picks, Kuzma, Turner, Dennis Smith, Malik Beasley. Damn, they're throwing Malik Beasley in like all these trades. Dennis Smith Jr. makes a lot of sense to me. I think he needs to get out of New York. I hate what they're doing to him in New York. But again, some of them has been like his own injuries and stuff. But he definitely needs to leave New York. Miles Turner and Kuzma, they would be nice young players to bring in. I definitely think they should try to trade Drummond and Blake Griffin for as much as they can. Try to blow it up. They have a lot of money tucked into both of them. And if they get some draft picks and some young players like Kuzma and Miles Turner, that'd be pretty good for them. Next up, Golden State Warriors. Draft picks, Aaron Gordon, Robert Covington, Markieff Morris, and Frank. Now, I don't really get the draft picks thing. Maybe I guess, but Robert Covington for them would be a very ideal candidate. Another 3-and-D guy. They're not going to win it this year, but at least next year, you have Steph, you have Clay, you have Rocco, Draymond, and whoever your center is at the time, whether it's Willie Cauley-Stein, Kevon Looney, whoever it is, as their starting 5, and that would make a lot of sense. Same thing with Markieff Morris. Aaron Gordon, again, you could slide him at power forward. I don't know about small forward, actually. And Frank, just, I guess, a Sean Livingston kind of guy off the bench. But the draft picks thing's a little confusing to me. Now we have Houston Rockets. Andre Iguodala, Robert Covington, Markieff, Jay Crowder, Davis Bertans. Yeah, so these 4 right here, I think are perfect fit for the Rocket system. And Marcus Morris. I actually wanted them to go for Marcus Morris from the Knicks. That I think he would fit perfectly next to James Harden and Russell Westbrook. Robert Covington, Markieff, Crowder, Marcus, and Davis Bertans. They could all stretch that floor, play power forward, stretch the ball. But then you move. Well, if you get Jay Crowder or Markieff or Marcus, I guess you could start them at the 3 and keep playing PJ Tucker at the 4. And again, if you have Davis Bertans, you could start PJ Tucker at the 3. So you still have your like defensive anchor out there. But these 5 all make so much sense for Houston. I definitely want to see them pull one of these guys in. It'll be really interesting to see that. Now we have the Pacers. Jrue Holiday. I'm sure they just put that to get all the Holiday brothers on one team. Gallo, Kuzma, Marcus Morris, Evan Fournier. Now, I think the Pacers are pretty underrated. I'm not even sure what they would need. Maybe if you trade Miles Turner, try to get a stretch big like Gallo, Kuzma, Marcus Morris. I guess that's what they were talking about. But for wing players, I think they're pretty good. I think they just need a stretch big out there next to Sabonis or next to Miles Turner, depending on which one they want to move. The Clippers, Jrue Holiday, Markieff, Marcus, DJ, and Willie Cauley-Stein. Jrue Holiday next to that Clippers team, Imagine Patrick Beverley, Jrue Holiday, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Zubac. That is a crazy defensive lineup. Like, who's scoring on that? I don't even know. Lakers, Markieff, Jay Crowder, Iguodala, Marcus, DJ Augustine. Yeah, they need some shooting out there. I'm not really sure about any of these. Well, Jay Crowder and the Morris twins, because Kuzma's not really working out for them. So I think they need a guard. DJ Augustine would be a nice veteran presence, but maybe someone like Bogdanovic is someone I really want them to get. There was talks with Zach LaVine, Devin Booker, so I think they need a guard who can score or distribute and definitely knock down the three. Memphis Grizzlies, draft picks, Kyle Kuzma, Malik Beasley. Yeah, it's just a lot of young players and draft picks definitely go that way. Surprising they're in the playoffs. Hopefully they might fall out a little bit, but we'll see. Alright, next up we have the Miami Heat. Just having a little technical difficulties there. That was weird. Yeah, Jrue Holiday, Derek Favors, Marvin Williams, Tristan Thompson, Dennis Smith. So these four I never really heard before right now. Jrue Holiday trade I did hear about. You'd give Jimmy Butler another defensive wing player to lock down other point guards and shooting guards so he doesn't have to do it all. Jrue Holiday and Jimmy Butler, that'd be a pretty hard defensive duo to score on. And gives you another playmaker. The Heat do play a lot of freelance basketball. Like, they all distribute. They all do a little bit of everything. That's what I really like about them. But Jrue Holiday will give them that one guy that they can go to whenever they need a play to be done. He could just create it on his own. I guess Jimmy Butler could do the same as well. All right, Milwaukee Bucks. Trade targets Chris Paul, Bogdan, Rocco, JJ, and Davis Bertans. Now, Davis Bertans makes a lot of sense. JJ Redick definitely makes sense. Right now they have Wesley Matthews, and I don't think he's really cutting it. Bogdan as well, Rocco as well. They're the best team in the league right now, and their weakest position is that shooting guard spot. So if you get Bogdan, JJ to play the shooting guard, or even get Rocco and move Chris Middleton down to shooting guard, they're going to be a really, really big problem. The Timberwolves, D'Angelo Russell, that's probably their dream target. Bogdanovic, Dennis Smith isn't bad, I heard that. I would actually like to see Dennis Smith go there. Monte Morris, Buddy Hield. I don't think the Kings would trade Buddy Hield. But D'Lo, Bogdanovic, and Dennis Smith, I would really like to see that on the Timberwolves. Finally get Cat some help. Pelicans. Draft picks, Kuzma, Bogdan, Gary Harris, Malik Beasley. Yeah, I agree with the draft picks. You can't go wrong with Kuzma, I guess. They took all the other young Laker players, so why not? And Bogdanovic, he's been thrown in here a lot as well. I think, yeah, a nice young shooting guard to pair next to Lonzo, Hart, Ingram, Zion, Hayes. They have a pretty young team. They're going to be a real threat in a couple years if they could keep everybody. The Knicks, draft picks, Monte Morris, Malik Monk, Zaire Smith. All right, so these four guys, it's whatever. But the Knicks, they need to get draft picks. I saw somewhere that they didn't want to trade the Morris guy, Marcus Morris, and I just thought that was ridiculous. They're playing Taj Gibson over Mitchell Robinson. Dennis Smith Jr., they're not playing that much. Wayne Ellington's playing more minutes than Trier and Dotson. I could go on and on about the Knicks, but they definitely need draft picks and to finally start actually playing their young guys instead of their veterans. OKC, draft picks, just add on to their array of draft picks. Justice Winslow, Bledsoe. I guess that goes in with the Chris Paul trade that they had up there earlier. Nasir Little is pretty random, but I know Justice Winslow probably makes a lot of sense for them. They don't really have a small forward. I guess that's why they have Little and Bridges out here. Orlando Magic, D'Lo, Chris Paul, DeRozan, Dennis Smith. Yeah, Markelle Fultz has been doing pretty good. I wouldn't take that away from him, but they definitely need a lot more scoring out there. D'Lo, Chris Paul, DeRozan, they would really, really help with that. It would be interesting to see though Chris Paul and the Magic, but I think their best bet is DeRozan. He's probably the most achievable target for them. Next up, we got the 76ers. Bertans, another shooter. Joe Harris, shooter. Just shooter and bench help. That's all the 76ers need. The Suns, Aaron Gordon, that would be pretty interesting. Gallo, same thing. Love, same thing. I think if they get any of these three, they could probably make a playoff push this season. And Dennis Smith is more looking forward to the future than it is now. Damn, they started 7-4 and then went 7-18. So now they're 14-22 when this article was written. Now we have the Trailblazers, Gallo, Lama, Love, Rocco, and Marcus Morris. Yeah, so the Lama and Kevin Love rumors, they've been going on forever now. I do think the power forward position or the small forward position is their weakest. And depending on what they get, small forward or power forward, just shift over Carmelo to whichever one's available. I definitely think they need to stretch big. It would really fortify their offense and really help them out. The Kings, draft picks, Kuzma, Rocco, Markieff. Yeah. I'm not so sure about the stretched bigs or threes because they do have Harrison Barnes linked up for a while. They have Marvin Bagley, Bielitsa, Rashawn Holmes was playing amazing too. So you don't really want to log jam at the forward and big man position, but you can't really do anything with their guards either. So maybe just bench help and draft picks is all the Kings need. Next up, we have the Spurs. Draft picks for sure. I definitely think they need to get draft picks. Miles Turner, Aaron Gordon, Malik Beasley, Mo Bamba. Yeah, Miles Turner and Mo Bamba would really help out the Spurs, a young big center. I just definitely think they should try to pull off that DeMar DeRozan, Aaron Gordon trade and get draft picks. Toronto Raptors, Andre Drummond, Tristan Thompson, Marcus Morris, Jay Crowder, and draft picks. Yeah, the Drummond trade would be nice for them. It would really give them a good rebounder. Marcus Gasol is not having a pretty good year now. He started off so bad, and ever since he got, like, a little bit before he got hurt, he really picked it up. He's been doing well. Van Fleet and Lowry, they've been playing pretty good. Norman Powell playing good. Norman Powell playing pretty good. And Pascal Siakam. So the Raptors are kind of surprising everyone. They're still in the playoff hunt. I think they're 3rd or 4th in the East right now. Utah Jazz, Davis Bertans, Marvin Williams, Markieff Morris, Dennis Smith, and Monte Morris. So Davis Bertans is probably the one guy that I would target if I was the Jazz. Their power forward spot is their weakest spot. They're playing Royce O'Neal right now. Maybe when Mike Conley comes back, they're going to play Ingles at power forward or Bogdanovic. I'm not even sure if either of them can play power forward, but maybe they'll go small. But Davis Bertans makes a lot of sense for them. And lastly, we have the Washington Wizards. Draft picks, Kyle Kuzma, Derek Jones, and Torrey Craig and Zaire Smith don't really make a lot of sense. I would really love to see a Kyle Kuzma for Bradley Beal trade. I think that would help both teams so much, finally. Next, then the Washington would only have to get rid of John Wall's big contract, and they could just blow up their entire team from there. But draft picks, I think, is the way to go for the Washington Wizards. So that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I am going to have more trade videos coming out very soon. Trade deadline is not even that far away, only 2 weeks. So if you guys are enjoying the content, please do leave a like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. See you soon.